Hello to all of my very good listeners and readers out there. What's that, Connie? Oh, Connie said she loved the story about Shy the Platypus. Do you like that story? What's that, Connie? She said one of the reasons she really likes it is it's because it's about water. Why do you think Connie likes stories about water? Today we're going to read chapter 2 of Shy the Platypus. Do you remember about Shy and her brother Spur, who were born in a deep, deep burrow, and their mother took them out for their very first swim? Today's chapter is called A Lesson in Diving. Shy and her brother grew quickly. Soon their satiny pink bodies were completely covered in short, downy fur, very soft and gleaming with silver and brown. One day their mother told them it was time to leave the burrow and to meet their father. The young platypuses wondered what he would be like. Splashing into the water, Shy and Spur followed their mother some distance upstream, through small rapids and swirls, and over beds of smooth, round stones of many colours, until they came to another large pool. Here, a shady clump of trees grew by the river's edge. Bulging roots overhung the bank, and under one of these roots was a gloomy hole, quite different from the nesting burrow. Here they found their father resting. Does your dad have a rest sometimes? He stared silently at Shy and Spur. Then he sniffed at them with his bill. He was a heavy fellow for a platypus, weighing around 2 kilograms and being nearly 60 centimetres long from bill tip to tail tip. From each of his short back legs branched a spur, curving strongly to its sharp point. After examining his offspring with a stern eye, their father decided to teach the young platypuses to dive. As the platypus depends for its food supply on being able to dive, these were the most important lessons a father platypus could pass on to his young. Their father showed them how to take a deep breath and to dive deeply into the water, paddling hard with their front legs and using their tail as a rudder. He taught them to close their ear coverings and to keep their eyes closed to keep out the mud which lay at the bottom of the pool. He taught them to nuzzle around on the bottom for shrimps and worms and water beetles. At first the young divers found that their mouths were taking in mud, but their father told them to fill their cheek pouches with it and to get rid of the mud when they had sucked out all of the food. At last, Shy and Spur dived alone, while their father sat on the bank and watched them. Shy reached the bottom first. Her eyes were tightly closed. She nuzzled amid the mud, stone and pebbles. Her soft rubbery bill was very sensitive. Can you see the platypus family there? I wonder if you can see some other animals in this painting as well. Can you see some eagles flying over the hill in the distance? Me too. Shy kept pressing it into the mud which oozed around her. Then she snapped her bill on a long, juicy worm. Her head was tight and bursting. What was the matter? Oh, how dizzy she felt. Then she remembered her father's warning not to stay down too long. She badly needed to breathe. Quickly she wriggled out of the mud and travelled up towards the surface. At bursting point, Shy opened her mouth to breathe, but only water rushed in. She choked, and the worm floated out, glad to escape. Then at last her long nose broke the skin of the water. Still choking, Shy pushed the bad air out of her lungs and sucked in fresh air. Her father swam over to see what she had caught. Sadly, she had to admit that she had lost her worm. She soon discovered that her brother had had just as much trouble with his breathing and had been no more successful in his fishing. Their father taught them how to let the air out in little bubbles, just a bit at a time, until it had all gone. The two young platypuses were exhausted, but their father insisted that they dive once more. This time they were both successful. Shy brought up some tiny shellfish, and Spur found half a red earthworm covered in mud. With their bills sticking out of the water, they chewed up their catch, mud and all. And here's a picture of the two young platypuses diving under the water. Can you see some fish in that picture as well? How many fish can you see? There are 4 fish. I can see a little shrimp as well. Can you spot the shrimp? There it is, down at the bottom of the picture. That's the end of today's chapter. We'll read the next chapter next time we're together. Bye now. And bye for Connie. What's that, Connie? She liked the bit about the fish the best.